DD214 Network Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from the DD214 Network is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now because we have you.
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's your boys. It's Jonathan, Jay, and the one and only.
Go fuck yourself. Oh shit.
Please let me in on that. I'm out of the loop. So please let me in on that. What was that?
He looks like Triple H. You were the one
Hit
that
the
said
fucking
it.
sound again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hit the fucking sound again.
He does. Yeah, let me hear that again.
It was a little too low.
That's way too low. That's probably why I didn't catch it. There it is.
WWE is going to come right after us right now.
Oh,
They're going to come right.
That's a copyright strike if I've ever fucking seen one.
What's that shit at the end of Rocky V? Like, sue me for what? You know what I mean? Like, it's like
Yeah.
It's like you can't really sue me for nothing because like I don't have anything to sue for. So what do you want?
I haven't won the lottery yet. If I did, we'd be having a totally different show today, guys.
You can have
just throwing it out there.
That is so funny that you brought that up because I just read an article like literally right before we got together about like soldiers like winning the lottery. And that this whole myth about being like, oh yeah, now we're gonna get kicked out, but it's not always
that true. But you can request separation, and there are ways to request separation, but it is definitely not an overnight thing. And you still are absolutely expected to uphold
your duties.
So some duties and your bearings, your military bearings, up until you get the DD214. So even if you became a billionaire overnight, yes, I would be talking to the commander, your first lines and your commanders immediately about that. But that's the other thing too is like if you become rich, like how many people do you really want to know? You know what I mean? So that's like the commander is probably the first person I would actually go to in that situation because it's just one person.
So this is where I'm going to totally derail the conversation for a minute then.
Since none of us are getting rich.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have a once the Powerball hits X amount, I start buying fucking tickets.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just because
I do too.
Your odds are as good as anybody else's. So
yeah. So it's one of those things. But what the fuck would you do with that kind of money?
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of it is, I have a couple of things that I would do, like probably like in the forefront, but everything on the back end, I have no fucking idea. Like that's where I that would be really hard to like. It would be really hard to like. Exactly what do you want to do or what do you maybe need to do first?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like and how and where do all those stations lay on the track?
I can tell you exactly the first things I'd do. Buy a house, and I'm not going to go buy some like fucking $3 million fucking mega mansion or some shit that. I'm just going to get me a nice 4-bedroom, 3-bath with like a bonus room type house. Nothing fucking fancy. Might cost $350,000, $400K. Pay off the cars. Pay off all my debt and pay off the fiance's student loans, all her debt.
Yep.
That way, the only bills I'll have are going to be electricity, fucking water bill, property tax.
Yeah.
You know, the basic shit. Second thing I'd do, I'd purchase a studio for my content. I would purchase a building outright. Or I would just build a building on my property, because I'm not going to buy a house and not get acreage. If I buy a house, I want at least 10 acres. And if I've got 10 acres of land, I've got the room to put up a studio on my own property.
And the range?
And meanwhile, I'm over here just happy I'm not living under a fucking bridge, right? Like fucking.
Yeah, and you know what's
I mean,
I'm not too far off for what, like, I would do the same thing. I would buy like a good, like 1-2 floor house, couple bedrooms, land. I would definitely build the studio on the
Would
property.
be nice.
But what I would also do is invest on the property, like in a city location where others could go in there and record their shows.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely want to do something like a because you see it a lot now with the remote work environment, where there's a lot of businesses where the business model is, hey, it's you can rent a space from us by the day, by the week to work. And I would do something like that for content creation. Have a building where you can come in, you bring your laptop, your gear. I'll have, you know, like mics and shit for podcasting or whatnot, to where you can rent a podcasting studio. Do something like that, so I've got an income stream at the same time to cover those property taxes and shit that I'm gonna have.
I'd actually like to interject, because like I didn't want to like talk about this yet, because I didn't want to post bad luck, but I'm just too excited about it. I've started like the very first blueprints of getting a studio done, like working on you know, looking at prices. One of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I think it's probably going to be more useful, especially like for DD214, are these like roll up. I think you've seen them schooling. They're like these roll up LED screens, and you can put them on, take them off, put them anywhere. Like I could travel them with me to Kansas City, put them up on your wall back there, and we'll have like a little podcast thing going on with vertical screens that we could change around and stuff. And like it's just so exciting, because like we have so much fun with this, and the main focus is getting the stuff to make a mobile studio, and that's you know, it's not far to what we do now. We could literally pick up our stuff and go to a fucking library if we wanted to, or even hell, we could do this shit on our phones if we wanted to, you know, with the right connected equipment. It's so sloppy.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, because I was the first to technically test it out of the three of us, you know, using my iPad. Because remember the episode earlier this year, I was traveling home from Tennessee and I was on my iPad.
That's right.
Which was mobile connected. There's a couple issues with that I noticed from using a mobile platform, like an iPad or an iPhone. So like when we do our intro, when we first go live, the intro, from a mobile device, you just see a black screen. You don't hear the intro sounds. You don't see any of the actual intro graphics, none of that. Two, if you're say on the road and you join, we saw it firsthand with me. I was in and out because my connection was choppy, even though there was a long stretch where I had great signal, and then once I got into the mountains, it was in and out. Now for a proper mobile setup, I would say we are, you know, just at one location altogether type of thing. And that's not really a mobile setup. That's just a traveling setup for when we do all get together in person again. To do a show, we have to have some kind of way to control everything.
Yep. And the biggest thing is audio.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay and I see his face. He's like, I don't know what the fuck guys are talking about.
Got nothing. Y'all enjoy. Keep swimming them water.
We like breaking Jay's brain. That's all there is to it.
Like when
And
you see my eyes start crossing, like watering up and shit, and you're just like sitting here like politely nodding my head because I have no fucking clue what's going on or being talked about.
Well, and that's exactly why you've got me and John Jay, because I'm the tech person. John he's getting more into it the more I've been around, because I'm showing him
true.
shit.
It's true.
I've been showing him things and teaching him the way of the audio and all that crap. So
and dude, that's the piece I was missing, because this is like, I actually been thinking about doing like a whole Clean Sanchez Media, like getting every single person that I have involved in Clean Sanchez Media and doing like a little virtual thing and being like, yo, thank you, cheers,
You said one of these days that you wanted to interview me, and I was like, well, we can do that, but like we'd have to talk about it.
So now we changed the format of Clean and Friends. So if you guys listen to the new episode,
I actually did listen to part of it. That's the first time I fucking ever did that, buddy. I want to tell you, I did it for you. Like I listened to the first part of it the other night, actually.
Yeah. And we're almost at 400 plays, surprisingly, which is crazy.
I saw that. I was excited for you, dude.
And it's cool because like now we're doing that format here. We're just talking, and it feels better. Like, and
it's a little bit more loose. Yeah, it's a little bit more loose.
So we're not doing interviews. We're just having people come on and being like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?"
Right.
So I actually want you lined up for like the next week or so. And then but soon,
one of these days,
it's gonna be very on site. It's gonna be
a lot of fun,
motherfucker.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun for me to kind of break character from this podcast and just go as Jay Campbell. You know what I mean? There's no strings attached. It's just me, kind of as I typically am, like my day to day like existence. You know what I mean? So
well, I mean, on that note, I'm hoping here soon that we're going to be officially launching Flagged for Removal again, John.
Yeah,
I've been working, and like I haven't been streaming much because in my off time here lately I've been networking, trying to find a co-host for that. So hopefully within the next month or so, I'll have something buckled down and we'll start. There'll be a third podcast. Technically like 7th, because John's doing like 12 of them right now. So
I pitched to Jay too, the Jay's Roadhouse. Good 10-15 minute.
A good 10-15 minute clip. If I learn how to fucking edit and use tools that are probably more.
No, you got us.
Probably like so primitive that like a caveman could use it, but I still have problems with it.
You got us, man. You got us. We got you.
Create like short content clips. You're not. I don't think you're wrong. That does seem to be where things are. The direction of the stream is taking. Like stuff like this. So it might not be a bad idea. You know what I mean? Obviously we all still like doing this every Sunday, but if that's the direction the water's flowing, then does it not make sense to fucking follow it? You know what I mean?
But
makes all the sense.
That's where Jay, that's where you've got me and John, because we both have the technical know-how to go and grab those clips and make those videos and edit and do that stuff. I've also been doing a lot of work with DaVinci Resolve, trying to.
Let me know. I mean,
it's pretty much.
I'm not exactly sure what I bring to the table here, but obviously you guys believe in it enough that
your mouth.
You're asking for it. Well,
you have a nice mouth, Jay.
Yeah.
You got a pretty mouth, boy.
It's been
squeal for me. Squeal like a piggy.
It's been used a lot. I promise. It's been used a lot, and it's definitely been punched the fuck up a few times too. So like I can promise you guys, like, it's gotten me into plenty of fucking good and bad times.
And look, I want to say like Streamlabs is good. Streamlabs has been providing a lot of good shit, but their editing software is ass. Like Streamlabs editing software is so bad. Like it's like. Yeah, because I know you've used it too, or even checked it out at the least. So, like, please.
I've checked it out. I haven't used it. So I've got 2 tools that I use: DaVinci Resolve for regular videos, and then I'm going to actually show you something here. And this will be showing the entire world at the same time, because we do have a lot of streamers and other content creators that watch us. So if I share out this window right here. So this is my OBS. This is where I do my streaming and everything. So if you see this right here, where my cursor's at, this is vertical. So this allows me to just make straight clips for like TikTok, YouTube Shorts.
Is that a plugin?
Reels. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And then I have
Jay, you're learning. You're learning. You're learning. Yes, you
I'm really not. Like, oh boy, I'm really not. Man, God damn it, dude.
And then I have this on my.
Oh, this thing, yeah.
Is my fucking button not on this page? No, it's not. What the fuck? Could have sworn I had it on here. So on this one right here, something ridiculous happens. I want to grab a clip. I hit that button on my Stream Deck. It records a 3-minute clip through the vertical plugin.
That's fucking actually very more convenient than using a cross clip or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually good. So I one thing I want to bring up, we keep on forgetting to bring it up.
Oh God.
Is the new merch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
have
still
some.
need to get.
I got some. We got some.
I saw.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah.
And I think one other person too as well. Here we go. So
Yet to buy any.
for those who don't know, just go to linktree.com/DD214 Network. And it's funny too, because even if you go on like youtube.com, DD214 Gaming, it brings you to network. So
Cool.
we still win.
Good.
So over here you have so it's very simple. There's all our links right here on the link tree, the Facebook group, and the official merch. You go into the merch, we got some really nice stuff. We got cups, we got t-shirts. Look at that. Look at that t-shirt.
Hold on. It never
updated.
updated.
It's not updating.
Because of the way you shared your screen, you shared that specific tab and it never opened a new tab.
And then I just shut my thing off. Beautiful. There we go. So we have it. Look at these beautiful colors, man. Orange, brown, Kansas City
Black's
blue.
the only way to go.
Black is the only way to go. There's pants, and they're unisex. They're unisex joggers.
Fucking A.
They come in different colors with our little flag there.
Gray's the only way to go.
Yep, and then this weird long sleeve, which I think I'm going to take the flags out of the side.
Kind of dig that. It kind of looks like Ukrainian in a way.
I do like that actually.
It actually, I kind of dig that. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I like the long. I like the long sleeve, and then
Me too.
But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, why the hell not?
I like that patch.
I do too.
I really like that.
Also, but like guys, look, we're just gonna no secrets here, all right? Everything is whoops, wrong store.
Careful.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was my store. Where's the DD214 one? So like there's so many things that we can make. Cups, magnets, stickers, all through Streamlabs, and you could go through there. There's gonna be some more stuff. I keep on saying
That's called a crutch word. That's what we learned in instructor school. That's a crutch word, John. My crutch word is fuck.
Mine is too.
Here we go.
Fuck.
We could make, there's all this stuff. We're gonna make oh shit.
What?
That's new.
What is new? Everything turned to white.
Look at this.
It's a vest.
It looks like a vest, but look, we're just gonna.
I'll be right back, gentlemen.
No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Image scale. There we go. There we go. Make it a little bigger.
about 20 minutes for it to fucking process.
I know. Internet's acting funny today too. We've been storming all week, but I mean, yeah, guys, there's merch out there now. There's some exciting stuff. There's going to be more stuff coming up. I may just finish this one up today. I love the flag. I'm actually trying to figure out how to get the flag a little bit bigger without having it depixelated. Yeah, it's super weird. But there's merch, guys. Go check out the merch. There's very cute threads for you guys to wear. And this is just taking forever, so we're just, and yeah, it's just taking forever. We'll play around with it later.
Bruh.
Yeah.
So, did you guys do anything this week? Anything fun?
We had a really bad storm a couple nights ago. That was about the extent of like the excitement for the week for us. Like no shit. Like
we had some Stormy here actually last night. It was actually kind of cool. So I was like, yeah, okay, ran around a little, just playing RP. I'm just playing video games. I played a lot of video games this week, man. I'm not the owner of the lumber store no more. So, we've moved on, but I do. I mean, you want to go into like our middle segment about what you got, Squilini? Say it.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, I picked up Only Up this week.
What do you think?
That game gives me fucking anxiety.
What is it? What's the game about?
It's literally a free running game where you just are climbing until you reach the top.
Yeah.
So which part gives you anxiety?
Whenever you miss a jump and you fall
all the way down,
you die.
You're either falling. No, there's no death. Like you just fall back down, and you might fall a couple levels down, or you might hit the ground level again and have to start all over.
Huh.
I got you.
I mean, it's definitely one of those games. It's a challenge. That's what I enjoy about it, because it gives me a challenge, and I've completed it. But the thing is, you're gonna always go back to play it because you want to beat your time. So, like, I completed it in 4.5 hours. It took me. There's people that have done speed runs of this game in 19 minutes.
This is the 16-minute world record right here. Jay's like, what the fuck?
It's a lot like Roblox. I see my daughters play a couple of similar fashion games on Roblox, where it's like this. It's a successive challenge, and it gets harder and harder, like to keep your character from falling, basically. And that's they
actually added this to Fortnite, and they actually added another version called Only.
What's up with the graphics, like just being dog shit nowadays? Like,
it's the quality of the video.
That's the quality of the video, but at the same time, it's an indie game. So indie games, you're going to get a lot of indie developers try to give you a little bit more retro style with the graphics, not make it so realistic. So, I mean, I'm all for supporting indie developers. I'm all for supporting indie developers. The game was $7. Like, I'm not going to bitch about shit graphics for $7.
That is fair. That's so they save some money. They save some money making the game, so they can give you the game fucking for less than $10. I'll call that a wash right there. Like, I'm not gonna bitch about the fucking visual elements that much if the game barely costs more than a fucking hamburger at goddamn McDonald's. You know what I mean?
So
I'm cool with that.
I picked that up, and then I picked up both of the South Park games, The Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole, through the Steam Summer Sale. I think I paid like $22. Cool. I paid like $22.99 for 3 fucking video games.
Yeah,
I'm not bitching about it.
I actually picked up. I picked up Alien Proving Ground. which actually was a lot funner than I thought it would be. And then I also picked up the Oregon Trail, which I'm having so
Which
much
one?
fun with.
Which version?
It's the newer version. It's the exact same game, side scroller. It just has
But it's
like
got updated
added,
graphics.
yeah, like it has updated graphics, and it has like the California Trail where you could do the Gold Rush.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually really fun. You could actually, if you have an Apple, you could play it for free through the Apple Arcade. But they just put it on Steam for like $15.
They also have it on Switch.
They do. Okay.
I actually started playing one of the Assassin's Creed games for the first time in my entire life.
What do you think about it while we're in this conversation?
Was it Odyssey, Joe? It's the Greek one, the one where you're a fucking like Spartan that like went off away from Sparta. It's called Odyssey, right? I think it's called Odyssey. Anywho, it's the Greek one. It's not bad. I'll tell you what. I definitely like the storyline. Like the story has kind of like captured me. The mechanics I'm not a big fan of. Like I might have to get into my settings at some point because I'm still having a lot of trouble with the mechanics. I'm having trouble like accidentally doing something I don't mean to do by pressing the wrong button.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm like 14 missions into the game at this point. I'm still having trouble with the mechanics. So I'm kind of like, okay, I need to figure something out because this is going to get tiresome like down the road. And like as the game gets harder, it's going to make it like turns me off. Cause like if I can't beat the game because I can't use the controls, then that's how the games just end up dying for me. So
yeah, which is understandable. You know, there was
the story's awesome. I like the story.
Yeah.
I like the interactive element where it gives you choices and options of like you can either be a dickhead or you can be kind of like the cool dude. And so depending on like the characters that I've talked to so far, like I've been alternately like really cool to some and like a total dick to others, right? So like I do like that part too. So like that, like there are elements of it that I'm like, oh, this is like actually not too bad. Like I wish there was more assassination stuff though. Like I want more
like the older games. That's
what I thought they were. So like I was going into this expecting like to play like Tenchu. I can sneak up on everybody. You know what I mean?
You're a guy that really enjoys history, right? So I think you should go back and play Assassin's Creed 3. But I don't think that one's on Game Pass. I think that's the issue.
Well, and I like this one. Even some of the terrain layouts. I love seeing like the giant Greek statues. You know what I mean? I like seeing like ancient Greece while ancient Greece is happening. You know what I mean? So it was even ancient to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like you're going to places like, you know, the Temple of Zeus and like some of these like more historical places that would have existed in ruins around this time, right? So that part is kind of fun. Part is kind of fun, and the history buff in me does enjoy that. You know, swim. I like the when you can swim, and swimming is I did like the swimming part of the game. That impressed me because now that gives me a whole fucking ocean to explore. Like there's got to be some little Easter eggs and treats in the Aegean Sea. You know what I mean? Like
I definitely suggest Assassin's Creed 3 because that takes place during the American Revolution.
3, and then after Odyssey, I will definitely say Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yep.
Okay.
Black Flag and Unity. A lot of people don't like Unity, but I thought Unity was really good. I love the Black Flag.
Why is that the pirate one?
Yes.
Yeah, that one might be fucking up my alley.
I think Black Flag is probably one of the top ones that they really like. You know, it's like one of the top favorites.
Black Flag, and Black Flag came out right before Odyssey. I think Black Flag was the one right before Odyssey, and then Unity was after.
And Unity and Black Flag, they were part of the transition to Xbox One for next gen. So when those games came out, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know around that time that the Xbox One came out, those two Assassin's Creed games were like heavily promoted to be a part of that next gen era.
I vaguely remember that because I remember seeing all the stupid fucking commercials like when I was like,
it was like you get the Xbox.
AFN would like show this. Yeah. Anywho,
because I got like those two, and then I got Skyrim to go with it, the special edition of Skyrim too. So.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Jay's actually branching out, playing video games.
He's actually liking something.
Finally,
and then,
tried something new.
And then I suggested Death Stranding to you, which I thought,
And it's interesting that you said that, because I was literally reading it was a journalist piece. It was like an opinion piece, and it was about Hideo Kojima last night. And it was the whole piece was written about Death Stranding, and he's like doing other things, but like PT is going to be the Silent Hill game that we could have had, and we never will because of corporate fucking greed. You know what I mean? And that was like how many fucking years ago? And I think that's one of the reasons that's really one of the reasons where like I started seeing the gaming industry like start falling off a cliff. And I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are still what I would consider gamers. I wouldn't even term myself a gamer anymore because of like, and like, that's one of those things where like when PT happened and that whole debacle, like the fucking thing won Game of the Year and it was a demo. It was a demo and it won Game of the Year and we still never got the game. Like that, I will never forget that. I will never forgive the gaming industry for doing that to us as the gamers. You know what I mean? Like that's like, what were you going to say, John? I apologize.
I definitely have a request. I think for the next DD214 gaming episode, we should just do a all Hideo thing. Break down his games when he left Konami.
Fucking Metal Gear. Like they're gonna re-release Metal Gear Solid. Guess what, guys? It's being re-released without Kojima. Okay, just so
we're gonna, like, you know what,
you guys,
DD214 gaming.
Yeah, you're gonna if you're gonna give your money to an updated fucking Metal Gear Solid series, dude. Like, guess what? It's coming without his name attached to it, so he gets nothing. He gets nothing from it. By the way,
I do want to talk about something before we get to our military stuff.
Sure.
The strike.
Oh, the writer's strike and now the Screen Actors Guild strike. It's on now.
I want to say in that I think it was really smart for Ryan Reynolds to release that image of Wolverine in the blue and yellow suit right before the strike started,
just so people would know that it's coming. Like,
yeah. So that's cool. That's really cool. I'm super. Oh, I think he just had a disc.
I'm here. What the fuck just happened?
Oh,
that's weird. What's going on? You guys are being weird.
The hell, John?
What are you doing?
I'm actually not pressing anything.
Well, stop pressing things.
It's not me. It's just...
You pay for the software. It's you. We're just blaming you like we normally would blame Cam.
I literally just need I'm just gonna point my finger and shout. That's like like
so like with this whole thing, it's getting intense. A lot of stuff has stopped.
Oh, it's even if everybody went back to work today, we are already looking at like months of backed up fucking production.
Yeah,
and the longer that this stretches out, 2024 ain't looking fucking good for fucking movies and TV shows, boys and girls.
No,
not at all.
Not.
It's going to be a dry desert next year.
So with that being said, everybody that watches our podcast, make sure to tune in weekly for DD214 Network Podcast, because this is going to be your only source of entertainment for the next year and a half.
Boy, are you guys fucked. You guys are fucked.
Really think about it. Podcasting, there's no writing involved. There's no.
We improvise and we kayfabe a little bit, and and for certain parts we get serious for the serious parts, but it's really not. I wouldn't say that this takes a great deal of like it does take energy, but it doesn't take a great deal of like intellectual fucking stimulation to do it. It's like all we got to do is wake up on a Sunday and like turn on a camera and a mic and start talking shit.
Yeah, we wake up on Sunday, we get a shower, we run to the gas station, pick up a couple fucking tall boys, log into our fucking computers, and start doing our fucking thing.
Yeah, and this podcasting is going to be a major thing within the next year. We're not going to have shit. Disney is airing their Marvel shows on ABC, starting in a few weeks. And one big thing, and I've had a lot of conversation about this because everyone knows I fuck with the AI. The big conversation is AI being used in film, and I just want to
notice this is one of the few times you'll see me and Joe both shaking our head at John at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even a tech guy, and I'm just like, nope.
Yeah. Now, I just want to clear out.
I mean, has anybody seen fucking iRobot? Like,
yeah. Now look,
that's the type of shit we're gonna get into.
I have to clear this out.
About it.
I need to clear this up because a lot of people seem to have they seem to misconstrue
a distrust.
Distrust? Or a distrust about my use of AI.
Not your use. Nope, not your use. Just AI. Just AI.
Just AI in general.
I trust you. I trust you, John Sanchez.
Now look, I'm not over here building a robot for world domination. I'm not doing anything that's going to take away jobs or anything like that. I don't have the money or the resources to get certain things, right? So I do use AI. But what I will not do is replace people and scan their faces without their permission so that they're out of a fucking job. I mean, the guy who wrote the first episode of She-Hulk, his residual was $396. $396. You have Sean Gunn, who was on shows like Gilmore Girls and who's part of the MCU, who's picketing at Netflix because all these shows are making money and they're not paying the residuals to these actors. And and dare I say, no one told any of these actors to buy $6 million mansions. Okay, that's one thing, but
that's neither here nor there, though. That is neither here nor there. They should
exactly. Preparation is essential.
If your likeness and your images are still being used, if they're still generating whatever, that is exactly what it's for. That's like exactly what it is for. It's because it's like when the Brady Bunch went on fucking repeat, on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like for 30 years, those actors got paid for 30 years because they were playing Brady Bunch reruns for 30 fucking years. Same thing with the fucking Simpsons, Family Guy. That's how it should be. If your stuff is still out there, if you're still alive, you know what I mean? Even maybe down to like your kids. I'd say at least one generation, maybe down to even your kids. If your shit's still out there making money, you should still be getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how the Elvis Presley estate, Michael Jackson's estate, and Prince's estate still make money every fucking year. You know what I mean?
And that is
in their image.
But see, that is the thing, though. Like a lot of the times in these estates, when these actors pass away, in the estate, it's put that any royalties from any of their work go to their kids for X amount of years.
Right.
Or go into an estate account that's then used for charity or used for something.
I don't know if you guys remember this or not. Prince did not used to have any videos on YouTube.
That's right.
That only happened after he passed away and his estate took over. I want to fucking remind everybody
and the exact
about that.
Same thing with his whole musical library being on digital, which is not something that he wanted.
Jay pays attention. Okay, Jay pays really close attention to
did you hear what I called him? I called him Darth Brooks. Garth Brooks. I mean, where are the bodies, Garth? Where are the bodies? But anyways,
yes, let the hate flow through you, young Skywalker.
If you guys aren't familiar with the whole body situation, go watch some Tom Segura for Christ's sakes. But but my whole thing, I don't agree with what the studios are doing.
Not even close.
So I want to clear that up. I think there is a very large displacement when you're, I mean, Fran Drescher, who I didn't even know was the president of the Actors Guild.
Oh yeah.
To see someone speak so.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. To see someone speak so passionately about what's going on with these jobs that they're eventually, hopefully, never going to lose. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's scary. Matthew Modine fight and seeing all these people that we look up to, that we're fans of, being so that they care, and they're saying like, we're doing this because we need to live too.
Well, can I say something real quick?
Of course.
And this will be a little bit more on the serious side and less kayfabe and character driven. This is absolutely serious when I say this. Like unions exist for a reason. If you appreciate having a 40-hour work week, thank the unions. If you appreciate that like child labor is not fucking being used, thank the fucking unions. Okay? Like some of these states that are rolling back like the age of children being able to fucking work in certain places is like, that's not a good step forward, okay, at all. Like all of your rights as a worker right now, as they exist right now, which sometimes in some states, not a lot. I get it. All the rights you do have already are because of the fucking unions. If people don't step the fuck up and like sound the fuck off and say it with your fucking chest so everybody can hear you, nobody's going to fucking do anything. Nothing's going to fucking change. And it's just going to get shittier because these greedy fucks are coming for every last fucking nickel you have in your pocket. All them shekels you fucking saved up for years and years and years. They want every last one. You know, I could go on to a whole rant about property taxes here in Jackson County, Missouri. We'll do that another episode. But that is a serious thing that's happening right now. And it's like it's affecting people in our neighborhood, like our community.
I think
there's a lot of, and what I'm getting at, and so I can end the rant quick enough. What I'm getting at is community and building relationships within your communities. Okay, your work communities. Okay, your social networks. Okay, the DD214 Network. This is your friend. Corporations are not your fucking friend. They never will be. Okay, you're probably not going to make it to the top. You're not going to get fucking rich. Okay, like just let that dream die. All right, seriously.
Oh, there he goes.
There you go. Shotgun that shit, Joe. Fucking do it. Suck that motherfucker. Suck it. Suck it. Suck it. My man. John, I think I just got a boner. Thank you, Joe. Corporations are not your friend.
Fucking let that get a little too warm.
Ever heard of Jerkmate?
So yeah, rant. Jay's first rant of the day complete, but corporations are definitely not your friend. Unions fucking are. Okay, unions are your friend.
And again, I just want to clear that up. I don't support the use of AI for taking people's jobs. I know you don't, John, and we trust you. You know we. I'm glad. By the way, I heard the new disclaimer this morning. That was fine. Okay,
I meant to comment. I meant to comment.
Okay, that's not AI. That's actually me using the voice mod. I just had to do something quick.
It sounded okay to me. And it wasn't even AI. How about that? And it wasn't even AI. Cody, it's okay, Bubby. It's okay.
Oh, is our guest star complaining?
Always. Oh, dude, he was.
Well, I heard Artie earlier, so.
Oh, he would. Dude, Cody was being bad last night. It wasn't bad, but dude, I was down here for a while last evening after we got home, and he would not stop whining. And I was like, dude, what is wrong?
I will be right back, guys.
I go ahead, brother. I let him out like 3 times, dude. Like he was like just restless. And I was like, it's been storming out here lately. So like they probably haven't gotten out as much as they want. So yeah, he's probably bored as shit. Not his fault. He's a dog.
Yeah, so man, we're gonna lose out. Looks like we're not watching Yellowstone in November,
or Deadpool 3 next year,
or
God
Deadpool.
Fucking damn it!
At least like For All Mankind, they finished, so that's still coming out.
Okay,
so I'm like, okay,
I am excited. I did get tickets. Okay, and like, are you done? I love you very much, but are you done? Okay, thank you. I did purchase tickets for me and Nikki. We're gonna go. Did I mention this last week? We're gonna go see Barbie.
No, you didn't mention
this. In the afternoon, we're gonna go see Barbie in the afternoon. We're gonna go have dinner after Barbie, and then we're gonna go see Oppenheimer the same night.
My man,
we got.
Are you going IMAX?
Oppenheimer will be in IMAX. Barbie is gonna be on kind of like a regular digital screen. For Barbie, I don't. Oppenheimer.
You have to.
Your boy did the IMAX. Yeah.
They have this. So they have this thing in New York. It's called the Screen X. And they're going to be showing. So I know that Fast and Furious was there. They did Avatar Way of the Water there. So it's a large IMAX screen.
Okay.
×3. So there's one on the left side and there's one on the right side, and they all connect.
Yeah, but how the fuck do you watch that? How far back do you have to sit?
I think the way that they have to see, I'll show it to you right now. You want to see it?
Yeah, please do. Because like regular movie theater screens are fucking big enough, and then IMAX screens are even bigger than that. And you're talking about 3 times that size. Like how fucking far back do you have to sit?
Look at that.
What the fuck?
So
what does it look like when you're sitting there? I'm really curious about this.
The fuck is this shit? Holy fuck!
Interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, so they have the seat. The seating is kind of like in a V.
270 degrees of peripheral. That's basically like the extent of your vision, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking straight ahead, that is the extent of your peripheral. If you're looking straight ahead.
Yeah. So
that seems really fucking immersive though. Like
it's scary. I
just want to see fucking Wolverine and Deadpool tear each other apart in that, just because like. You've got fucking Wolverine rips Deadpool's arm off in front of you. Deadpool's arm goes flying to the fucking left.
I think it's so cool. And I mean, I like
now make it 3D.
Now you got like Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is a 70 millimeter with 11.
I'm looking up like zero. I'm looking up like zero for both movies. Like I want to go in. I'm going into both these movies as blind as humanly possible. I know Oppenheimer is probably going to be good. It's Christopher Nolan. Especially after I know John, it's been a while, but like 2 years ago, 2+ years ago, like Tenet was so fucking disappointing.
Tenet was fucking. I thought it was good.
I loved it. I've never been disappointed in the Christopher Nolan movie.
You can go if you guys want to go all the way back in the archives and look it up. Like you can see how disappointed I was in. Like I've never been disappointed by Nolan. I was very disappointed by that one. Like, it was just. It didn't work.
I mean, I went into Tenet not really sure how I was going to like it, even though it was a Nolan flick, just because Robert Pattinson. I'm not a big Robert Pattinson fan. I think he's very stale as an actor. He doesn't have emotion, doesn't really give himself to the characters he plays. And
I disagree, but I see where you're coming from with that. I disagree, but I see where you're coming from. I know why he gets pegged like that sometimes, but go ahead, continue, please.
But then Tenet really showed that he's not that way in my eyes.
He was very different.
Tenet was the movie that made a turnaround for me when it comes to Robert Pattinson.
Interesting.
Hence why I was really looking forward to seeing him play Batman. And then that movie was crap.
If you remember, my problem with Batman was not Robert Pattinson. Like, and I made sure to like,
no. But see, that's the thing. It wasn't Pattinson, and I would even say Paul Dano as fucking Riddler was great.
It wasn't the actors. It was
the shooting style.
It was the
writing.
The first 30 minutes. I said it last year. The first 30 minutes of that movie, I was ready for like the greatest superhero movie like that had ever been seen. And
with that movie, as John's fucking disappearing because he's tired of hearing the fucking Batman talk. Oh my god!
It was like within 10 minutes of that, the movie went like off the fucking rails. Then again, and then it's just like a burning wagon, like rolling down Mount Everest. You know what I mean? At that point, it was just like,
the thing is, they tried to here's how I look at the Batman. They tried to take aspects of Burton and they tried to take aspects of Nolan and mesh them together without really knowing what the fuck they were doing.
It's called writing, and you need good writing. It's also really not hard to do, and it's not hard to see if the writing is going to work or not. But there's a lot of executives in Hollywood that don't give a fuck if the idea is good or not. Ask the DC fucking comics universe.
I will. Yeah. But see, the reason the DC cinematic universe is going in a new direction and they brought fucking James Gunn in is because what they were doing before wasn't fucking working. And they realized they were losing millions of fucking dollars to Disney and Marvel because they kept fucking up with the old regime that was at DC Studios. So now they brought James Gunn in, who, in my opinion, by far has made the best Marvel movies and DC movies between Guardians and fucking Suicide Squad. Gunn knows what the fuck he's doing to make a good superhero movie.
And it's funny that you say that because even Bob Iger said a couple days ago that they're pushing back on Star Wars and Marvel because it's not making them money. Anyways, you know what's one thing you can't write? That the veterans veterans quit training for the DeSantis State Guard.
Okay, fucking cocksucker. Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is actually very interesting. So
wasn't it something like he told them they had to shave their fucking beards off and they all said fuck you?
Yeah, so pretty
Even
much
more
like
than that,
over
like,
30
what
days in
they're
June.
training to do.
So out of 30 days in June, teenagers out of high school and retired military veterans came to Camp Blanding, the National Guard base near Jacksonville. And they were told that they would volunteer for a revived state guard with a non-military mission, help Floridians in times of need or disaster. But instead, when they got there, they were trained for combat. Khakis and polos were replaced by camouflage uniforms. Volunteers assured they would keep their facial hair, were ordered to shave, and they were drilled on how to rappel with ropes, navigate through the woods, and respond to incidents under military command. When DeSantis
have a fucking National Guard for that. Fuck you need that. Fuck you need that for Florida.
So when DeSantis announced in 21 he wanted to revive the long dormant state guard, he vowed it would help Floridians during emergencies. But in the year since its launch, key personnel and the defined mission remained elusive.
Oh.
So the state is looking for the program's third leader in 8 months. According to records reviewed by the Herald and interviews with program volunteers, a number of recruits quit after the first training class last month because they feared it was becoming too militaristic.
Big surprise. Fucking fascist wants to fucking revive the brown shirts, huh?
Yep, and they
what color were the shirts that they showed up in? They're brown. I'll save you a click. They're fucking brown.
Yeah.
All right. Like the dude's a fucking fascist. His fucking presidential fucking campaign is tanking. All right. Like fuck him. Fuck their state guard. Okay. Like they don't need one. We already have the fucking National Guard for that. Like Jesus Christ.
So their response was, we are aware that some trainers were removed or dissatisfied. This is to be expected with any course that demands rigor and discipline. But there was also,
how come only the veterans were quitting?
Yep. So there was actually a 20-year Navy veteran quit. He said the program got hijacked and turned into something that we're trying to stay away from, a militia.
Boom. Fucking boom.
Brian Newhouse, a retired 20-year Navy veteran who was chosen to lead the state guard in 3 divisions, he quit.
Yep. Gee, I wonder why. Because he recognizes fascism when he sees it, and he's like, I don't want to hitch my fucking horse to this wagon. Like, fascism is not a cool wagon to hitch your horse to, kids. Just fucking letting you know. Like,
so that. It also says here that on the first day of training, Newhouse said he was escorted off the base after lodging several complaints of the program, including that the National Guard schedule required training on Sundays instead of allowing members to use those days for religious services and personal time, as was the original plan, as per documents state. He said he previously complained that the National Guard didn't have medics during available training. And he goes on to say that I don't even think the governor knows what's going on. I don't think this is even a fly on his radar right now, as he's not even a veteran. I think he would be appalled that a disabled veteran, would be abused by other military members.
Gee, anybody surprised? Because I'm fucking not.
Negative-a-roni.
Not fucking surprised. Not fucking surprised. Hey, Florida, get your shit together. Like, I live in Missouri, all right? And we need to get our shit together in this fucking state. Florida, get your fucking shit together. All your shit. Put it all together.
We're watching you, Florida.
Put it in a fucking box. Put it in a box.
Yeah.
All your shit. Get it together, Florida. Get it fucking together, dude.
Next, Space
Force.
Get
it fucking together.
This is going to be a little lighthearted. Space Force Guardian makes history as the first top basic training graduate. For the first time in history of basic military training at Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, a Space Force trained Guardian has been named as the top graduate. In a press release Tuesday, the service announced that Space Force Specialist 3, Dakota Desrosiers, a 26-year-old all-source intelligence analyst who was the first to be named as Space Force's top performer for his class and also was the top graduate for all of the trainees at boot camp, including members of the Air Force. Typically, 10% of each class will finish with honors based on their performance, but only one individual earns the honor of being named the top graduate. The Space Force said in the press release, Desrosiers, I'm sorry if I'm botching his last name, exemplary performance led to him being named the top graduate among all impressive cohort of 444 Guardians and Airmen.
Good for him.
Guardians. I'm sorry. Somebody played a little too much fucking Destiny when they named these fucking people.
Hey, man. If it's a Space Force, man, eventually they're going to be in space, right? So they're going to be guarding something. Hey, did I ever tell you guys I was the fucking honor graduate in my AIT when I was a mechanic?
No.
When I went to AIT, I was the fucking. So they gave out 2 awards. They gave out the honor graduate and the leadership award. I got both. Like I got fucking both.
40 HP.
I'm telling you, dude. Like I was belt fed, dude. I was belt fed like a motherfucker even when I was a mechanic.
Oh
dude.
man.
So, just saying, dude.
Are you ready for the top military news of the week?
Yes. Can I go get a beer?
Yeah, you're gonna need one for this.
Oh, go grab one.
Okay. BRB. Okay.
Paging Dr. Douchebag.
Hey, Cleary, fuck you.
You don't know Cleary? It's Triple H. As my
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
If I didn't have so much fucking expensive fucking electronics sitting here in front of me, I would have gone and grabbed a water bottle just so when you hit that button, I could fucking do the damn spray thing just for fucking the entertainment reasons. But
oh man.
because I've got $30,000 worth of computer equipment in front of me.
And then it would have been so bad. So our boy DD214 Network's favorite, Texas conservative representative Dan Crenshaw and liberal New York representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are teaming up in hopes of letting troops take psychedelic drugs to recover from war.
Okay. I can dig it.
Yeah.
I want psychedelic drugs.
Let me guess. Psilocybin and MDMA. Is that correct?
I will get to there. The goal is to treat illnesses like PTSD and traumatic brain injury, notoriously intractable ailments that skyrocketed among service members who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. PTSD is double what it was for Vietnam-era vets, according to the Department of Veterans Affairs, and the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention say that more than 450,000 U.S. warfighters suffered TBI from 2000 to 2021. This is a real wild coalition, said Crenshaw, who says he has friends who came home from war damaged and were not cured until they found a way to try psychedelics, which are not legal in the United States, even to study, except under restrictive conditions. I was turned on to this issue because I had so many friends who were going down to a specific clinic and doing Ibogaine. One treatment of Ibogaine would cure them. Psychedelics have shown so much promise, says Ocasio-Cortez. We desperately need the resources to treat PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and depression. At least 1 in 2 PTSD patients cannot tolerate or do not respond adequately to existing treatments.
I go ahead, Joe. You start.
I would say this is the first time I will ever, and probably the only time I will ever agree with something that fucking AOC says.
I was waiting for one of us to say it,
or Dan Crenshaw,
or Crenshaw.
It's like, I mean, pretty much.
Between the two of them, this is probably the first time they've actually said something that shows they do still have fucking brain cells.
I can do the docking thing, the bipartisan thing with this one, because it's like, holy shit! Like how long do we have to go before Democrats and Republicans start learning to work together for the rest of us again? I'm okay with that part. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a very interesting team up, I will say.
Like we said last week, broken clocks are right twice a day. Okay.
But see, that's the thing, Cleary. That's the thing, Cleary. Yes, it's a slippery slope, and you got to monitor it carefully. But that's where this would be. Using psychedelics to treat it is definitely an inpatient type of program.
Oh, it is.
It's not something where you're just prescribing the fucking vets these drugs and just letting them loose to go home. This is you have super severe PTSD and, mental disorders due to your time in service. You're in an inpatient treatment facility, and they use these to help you get through it to where you can become a functioning member of society as a civilian.
Absolutely.
Yep. Sure. A lot of times a lot of it is microdosing too. It's not fucking tripping it's not tripping balls in the fucking forest and having a spiritual experience. It's a lot of it is microdosing. Yeah. So
it's definitely not something where it's going to be That's actually here in a little bit. Digitalized death.
Yep, it's coming up. It's coming up, DD.
But
Big old
it's-
double D. Big old
You-
double D's.
It's actually, that's funny that you said it because that's actually next.
Good.
But yeah,
Go ahead,
no,
Joe.
it's like Jay said, it's going to be micro dosing. It's going to be in a controlled environment. At least that's what it should be. But I go back to what I said, and like Jay said, a broken clock's right at least 2 times a day.
Yeah.
And in this case, both Crenshaw and AOC, who I disagree with
All the time.
99.9% of the time. This is that 0.01% that I agree with. It
Joe
can
is-
help.
Joe, for those of you guys that don't know, Joe is right of center. For those of you guys that don't know, me and John are slightly left of center. All three of us bend the knee to no one. To no
Yeah.
one. Like that's the difference. All of us can have differing political and religious and whatever views. We actually get along. You know why? Because we don't give a fuck. That's my fucking brothers right there. I don't give a shit.
We don't give a fuck. And then at the same
Goddamn.
time, when we talk about shit like this,
It doesn't have to be.
we
with fear and
have
loathing.
a fucking adult conversation about it. We
God,
don't
how
get
hard is that?
butthurt. We don't fucking sit here and get mad at each other. We talk through this situation. We talk through the politicalness. We deal with it as fucking adults, people.
At the end of the day, we know we're fucked.
And let me tell you what these two fucking deal with, because they deal with me all the fucking time, especially over fucking text, where you can't really tell people's tone of voice or like inflection of sarcasm. They deal with my
Me and
fucking
John had it happen
all
2
the
weeks
time.
ago.
Yeah, well, we were just talking this weekend, and it's always funny because when you're talking, you always have to use a word like brother or man, or to kind of like ease, like hey, like we're not arguing here, we're talking,
Right.
you know?
It's like,
Well-
you guys deal with my fucking post-traumatic stress. You
Well,
deal with
that's the
you
thing.
deal with me having I have episodes sometimes, and on the days I have episodes, those are probably not the best days I should be fucking texting a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like whether I'm right or wrong, it just shit comes out wrong sometimes. And like when we talk about like
Well, yeah.
getting treatment and doing therapy and stuff like which we talk about on the show all the time, why would we not want more research on how to relieve some of these symptoms that do create schisms in the relationships with the people that we love? Like
On top of that, and
go ahead.
to add on top of that, this leads to institutionalism, homelessness.
Yep.
Because these are things when you're not getting help, you go only down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shit gets fucking rough out there, and when you're
Yeah.
having a fucking moment, it's not always the fucking time for you to be whatever with everybody else, because it ain't everybody else's fucking fault. You know what I mean? And that's not.
But
It
see-
ain't Joe's fault. It ain't fucking John's. It ain't necessarily even my fault, because I don't control it sometimes. It just fucking happens, and then I'm just stuck there dealing with it.
Well,
And it's like that's how it fucking actually happens, and people don't talk about that part at all.
and that's kind of the thing. Like, me and John both had similar situations happen to us. We both were vagabonds, homeless,
in the
living
dread.
on the streets for a while,
Yeah.
at fucking rock bottom. And the one thing I tell myself every day is when you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but fucking up.
Yeah.
And look at John, look at me now. Both
Right.
of us. I mean, both of us have fucking roofs over our heads again. We're doing what we love to do.
Beautiful homes, beautiful families.
We push through. And,
We don't quit.
in
We
the
don't
veteran
fucking quit.
community, it's sad when I look at statistics and the numbers with the homeless rate in the veteran community, because there's not proper fucking treatment for PTSD, for these mental disorders that come from going into combat, serving time overseas, or even just being
just becoming institutionalized in general.
Mhm.
It makes I've said it before a couple times on this show. I was never shocked as much as I was shocked when I got out, like how big the transition coming out of the military actually was. It fucked me up for a few months, because I was like, oh shit, like this is, why do I all of a sudden I felt different when I didn't. It's like the day before I got my DD214 and the day after, there was no functional change in Jay Campbell. But the next 3 months, I started feeling different. And like, where in the fuck did that shit come from?
the
and then
culture shock.
Oh my God. And then a whole bunch of shit from your time in service starts bubbling to the surface, you know, and you're like, where'd that come from? Because I haven't thought about that shit for a long time. Like, where the fuck did that come from? And then you're fucking dealing with that shit for a day or three, you know, like, and it's one of those things where, like, if you don't keep a very close eye on the lid on top of your kettle, that motherfucker will boil over. Like, and it doesn't take much some days. It doesn't take some days it doesn't take anything. Literally. I've had bad days where I'm just like, I've been stuck pretty much sitting right here where I'm sitting right now, and I've been like in a freaking black hole for like freaking 3 to 6 hours for no functional reason other than like my brain went somewhere and I couldn't stop it fast enough. And that was it. Right. Like, that was my whole day. And it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to freaking give our perspectives on it, because we're doing a disservice to not only ourselves but our fellow veterans if we don't fucking talk about this shit.
Absolutely.
Like, our wives, the husbands, the kids, all of them, you know, parents, fucking siblings, homies, they deal with us lashing out sometimes and dropping fucking napalm on every goddamn thing around us and it ain't their fault. It ain't, and sometimes it's not our fault either. And it's hard to get that understanding when you start creating schisms in your own personal world. And when these schisms happen, sometimes the cracks are hard to fucking repair. And that's why it's so important for us to maintain healthy and emotionally healthy relationships with the people that we care about, because they care about us too. We're not supposed to isolate. We are supposed to be part of a tribe. We are supposed to be part of a group and a community. That's why having friends and relationships with other people, especially outside of your own home, is so important. Like, you got to get out. You got to get out. You got to fucking talk to people. Yep. Even if you're at your home and you're talking to your gaming homies, at least you're still fucking talking to somebody. You know what I mean? Like that. All right, I'll get off the fucking soapbox.
While we're talking about culture shock, there is a major culture shock coming for a lot of people who are still in the IRR right now. So before we get to that, I just want to say, for those who don't understand what the IR, finally get these, a period of 3 years following discharge, just went down to drinking the coke. I just destroyed everything, dude. We've been there.
Yeah,
we've been there.
I've been there too.
And while we're talking about culture shock, for those who don't know what the IRR is,
dude, we got you in our hearts, dude. Like, we're all there, bro.
We're here.
We're all there.
This is the round table.
This shit doesn't stop until we breathe our last. And the goal is that we breathe our last peaceful in bed at like fucking 95 years old. Okay, that's the goal. That's the next fucking hill we're fucking climbing right now. Fucking seeing our families fucking achieve success and fucking hopefully fucking saving this goddamn world from itself, dude. Like, the mission didn't stop, and we can't complete our mission if we're not here. So you're goddamn right. Like, we got you, homie. We see you.
Hey, we appreciate you, Double D. We appreciate you.
We do.
So I need to ask you: Are you in the IRR? Yeah, are you in the IRR? Digitalized death. Well, so I know you're not, because you served full contract. You did 2 Squilini, right?
Well, I was med-sep. So
yeah.
And here's the thing. So if I did serve my full contract, I was 6 years active, and then it was going to be 2 years IRR after that. But when it was time for me to go IRR, I decided to stay active. And even if I had gone IRR, my 2 years IRR would have been up in 2015, 2016. So this wouldn't have affected me at this point.
So I did 4 years. So I was in the IRR for 4 years after that. My IRR just finished 16.
20?
So 20. So 2020, actually April 20th, 420, my favorite holiday. My favorite holiday. I actually ended my IRR. Now, during that time, a couple days before my IRR ended, we were like 30 seconds to midnight. COVID was happening. People were worried about World War III. But now the news has come out. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to put it up here for you guys to read if you want to read it. President,
the good old article.
Yep, President Joe Biden has called the IRR to action.
Yeah, about 3,000. I think he's calling up about 3,000.
He's calling 3,000 right now.
And they're
with
from they're from very, very specific MOSs too. Very specific MOSs. So it's not like a full call up. This is more like bridge the gap.
So it's 3,000. It's 3,000 altogether, but only 450 of them being IRR.
So even then, like the number is so low. The number is so super low. Like this is kind of much ado about nothing in a way, but in a different way. Anytime the IRR gets activated, it is kind of a big deal. So like it's kind of a two-way street on that one.
Now,
I mean, we've all dealt with, at least I know me and Jay did, being in combat MOSs, we dealt with stop loss where, you might be coming up on your fucking ETS date to get out, and then they stop loss your ass and you're stuck for another year.
Yeah.
And
that's like some of those boys in the early days of Afghanistan and especially Iraq, man. Like I've heard some fucking real fucking like legitimate horror stories where it was just yeah.
So my second tour, I was stop lost. We were getting ready to rotate out, and my entire unit got stop lost for an additional 3 months to stay over. Because the unit that was coming in to replace us had some staffing issues because it was going to be a reserve unit replacing my active unit. And I think what it was like 3/4 of the reserve unit couldn't pass a fucking PT test to be deployable. So they weren't going to have enough bodies to replace us.
That's, but if you're questioning if this is you may want to talk to your local recruiter or whoever your representative or agent is in your IRR. Check your most local base where you live at. Give them a call.
I'm gonna have to go with what our drill sergeants told us in basic training. The fastest way out is through, or you could just do eight years. You could just do 8 years and call it done at the end. Dude. Like, so.
Now is it now here's another question. Is this a bad thing?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Are we gonna have disgruntled veterans coming in a little pissed off, that are like, I can't believe I'm fucking being called in, but
I still see dudes on Reddit that got out and they've got like a break in service and they're going back in. And it's not often, it's not all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of guys still remember the suck and are happy to be out, whatever. But like, I still catch threads here and there where I see people are like, I've been out for like 5 or 6 years. I'm going back in. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah,
best of luck, dude.
I had
fucking more power to you.
Brandon Cleary with the fucking information.
I had a staff sergeant going through fucking basic training with me because he had been out for 6 years. So he had to redo basic training, but so he was a sergeant first class. They knocked him down to staff when he re-signed. So he just lost 1 pay grade, but he had to redo basic training to go back in. And he'd been out for 5 years at that point. But he chose to go back in.
Right. It's basically like when I reclassed, I had to redo basic training down at Fort Benning to become infantry, right? And it was like I wasn't an NCO at the time. I was still a lowly specialist, but there's a big difference between somebody who's been in for 5 years with a year-long fucking deployment to Afghanistan and the fucking dudes that just got out of high school fucking 3 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is true. Now,
yeah, because you're going through basic. You've already got a fucking combat patch. You've got fucking.
I was fucking 30. I was fucking 33, bro. Like I was like an old man to these fucks, dude. Like they didn't know what the fuck to do with me, dude. They called me Gray Bush. They literally called me Gray Bush. Like.
And the last thing that we have to talk about is your job a nightmare? Is it them? Is it you?
It's usually them.
So the first thing, I just have 7 points, very small points. Okay. Number 1, is it me? Sometimes you really are a bad fit for a particular job. Maybe you're an extrovert hired for a job that was supposed to be hybrid, but was turned into 100% work from home, and the silence is driving you crazy. Maybe you're a huge introvert hired for a business development job that turns out to require a lot of networking, cold calls, and traveling to trade fairs to chat up the customer. Rule of thumb. If you don't see yourself staying at this job for 2-3 years, find a better position in that workplace. Or if you happen to like the job, respectfully look in other places and keep the job.
This one like is real easy for me to quantify because I saw this all the time in the Army. I did not belong as a mechanic. I stuck out like a fucking sore thumb. I was way too fucking motivated, way too fucking dedicated. Didn't want to be doing the MOS I was doing really at all. And like just didn't belong there at all. That's not to say we don't have dedicated, motivated mechanics out there in the Army. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. I was just not, it was different. Okay.
Yeah.
When you were a little too hooah to be a mechanic.
When I went over to the infantry, I saw a lot of young cats, and this is no disrespect to them, okay, at all. But I saw a lot of young cats that did not fucking belong in the infantry. Like they probably got stars in their eyes, fucking seeing the blue cord and the crossed rifles and whatever the fuck else that the recruiters turned them on to. But it was like when you're out there in the field and the suck and the mud and the blood, like not everybody fucking is fit for the fight. And that is not a statement against any individuals. That's just I saw it. I saw people that would have made much better freaking cooks, medics, mechanics, signal, fucking intel, whatever. Take your time when you're picking your job in the fucking armed forces, folks. Okay, make sure the job is a good fit for you. John, go ahead.
The next one is it military memory? Civilian culture shock is tough on new veterans, and the civilian environment is so different from the military that it's easy to secretly think you have made a horrible mistake. This is usually marked by thoughts such as, I never should have left the military, or another move was not that bad. The kids would have enjoyed moving 3 times during high school, or I want to go home for lunch and never come back.
Digitized Desk, we love you sharing your stories too, dude. Like that's awesome, dude. Appreciate hearing from you. Sorry about that, John.
No, it's okay. Hey, we the reason why we're here is for interaction with the people who come here, because we want to reach out to all veterans and every veteran that we can, because there's the one side of the veterans who are like super proper and all ABC News and shit, and then you have us, the National Enquirer,
yeah, basically. Like basically, we don't tend to take ourselves too seriously here. We actually like to fucking smile and laugh and have a good time. We don't jerk off to fucking gun porn. Okay, so, sorry, but we're still here for you, and that's okay.
Wait, I'm not supposed to jerk off to gun porn.
if that's what I was just about to say. If that's your thing, like, dude, do your thing, and whatever helps you, maintain a healthy like work-life balance and emotional and spiritual health too. That's not typically us here, because we like to fucking joke and laugh and tell fucking sophomore college humor fucking jokes. Okay. And we're in our fucking middle age, and we're all having a crisis. So fuck it. Like this is going to be our midlife crisis fucking podcast. Okay. So yeah, hope somebody out there enjoys it. So thank you, Double D.
Yeah, but the rule of thumb for military memory is know that this is a fairly typical experience. It's all of us. Okay. There are even times I was working at Target and I was like, fuck, it would have been much easier to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and work out. And, but
some of the jobs are soul sucking, dude. There's some soul sucking jobs out there.
Yeah. But the rule of thumb is that it takes at least 1 month of a civilian life for every year you spent in the military before you feel 100% like yourself again. So take a deep breath and keep on moving forward.
I want to know who came up with that fucking number, because that number is extremely fucking wrong. So I've been out since fucking 2013, and I'm still making up for the fucking years I was in the military.
The article that was written is by J.C. Eckert from military.com. So you could go after them. The next one, is it
You're reading the article, so I'm going after you, John.
That's fine. Sometimes you find that you've been catfished at the job. They pulled a bait and switch, and the job you thought you would be doing somehow turned into telemarketing. Or is it an unidentified catfish because your new company lost its contract, so it found something else for you to do? This happens a lot.
That's a red that's a red flag. I'm also going to say that's typically a problem in the coasts and the major urban areas, like in the middle. That's not going to be a typical job complaint out in your rural areas or smaller towns, and maybe even some smaller cities of size.
Yeah.
But in your
I would just
major,
leave.
yeah, you just fucking get kids. Your friendly neighborhood Jay worked a lot of fucking what we would call Joe jobs. No offense, Joe jobs. Fucking back in the day, I've done a lot of Joe jobs, and
Yeah.
I have walked out on a couple. Not a lot, because I tried to have a little bit more, carry myself a little bit better than that. But if there were a couple jobs that I straight left, and I was not afraid to do it. I wasn't a dick about it. I just fucking left, and I never called back.
There was actually a job that I left and came back to because I thought it would be a little different, but when I came back, it was much worse. So it was, yeah,
YOLO.
I couldn't do it. And my rule of thumb, and it says here, the rule of thumb: if the job is abusive, dangerous, illegal, quit as soon as you can. But what they don't mention here is if the job is mentally squeezing the juice out of you, it's not worth it.
Fucking walk. Like,
it's not worth it.
Take some advice from Pantera and Phil Ensemble and just fucking walk.
Now these next two, this one, the next one, and number 5 kind of work in the same way. Is it the boss? Is it the money?
Well, I bet Joe could tell us about that one.
All right, number 4 and 5. Is it your boss? Is it the money? Obviously, bosses suck. That's something that you either have to adapt to, or you have to kind of be like, well, can you work through it? Can you work through having a shitty boss? Does he come around the company a lot? Do you face him a lot, or her? You know what I mean? Things like that. Same thing goes with the money. If you're a veteran and you're receiving your disability compensation, whether it be 1 from 100, you're getting, there's factors. Do you have kids? Are you married? Are you single? Do you not have kids? You may just be breaking even with that job that you get now, along with that compensation from the military that you get. And sometimes it's just not enough. So, along with the mental anguish, the shitty boss and stuff like that, is the money worth it? Is it worth it to get that?
Yeah. Hey, we want to say hi to freaking Gonzo. Good to see you, buddy.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Mr. Strobridge, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yep. Number 6, is there something to learn? Is there something to learn at the place you work at? Is there room for progression? Do you see yourself when you walk into that place? Ask yourself, do I see myself here in 5 years? And if I see myself here in 5 years, do I see myself doing the same fucking thing that I did when I first walked in?
And if you're okay with that, that's okay. But you got to ask yourself that fucking question. You got to ask yourself the question.
And like I said, that is okay, because some people are like security guards. I think security guards are the best example.
This is a thing where we the term I think we use in the military is managing expectations. Like manage your expectations. Like there's nothing wrong with using a job as a stepping stone to a better job or a better paying job or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but manage your fucking expectations. Okay, especially in today's job market.
Yeah,
manage your expectations. I had to take my fucking first drug test this week since I got out of the fucking army. Okay, like for one of the 2 security companies I work for. Guess what? They said I passed.
All right.
Okay. Like they said it. The only two things they should have found would have been alcohol and freaking cannabis. They said I did fine. So, okay. Happy to be on board the ship. Like, okay.
Yeah. And then, the last one. Is there a career coach available? When you're going through a transition, a career coach can be helpful. Career problems often benefit from being brought out into the light, and coaching is not therapy. It's strategy, and one of the advantages of your new civilian life. These things could be costly. Maybe you have a friend that's really good with the gift of gab and knows some of these things. Talk to them. Talk to your friends, because you may have 20 friends, and I bet you money one of them knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
Well, this is why I continue to stress the importance of having some functional form of a goddamn social circle.
Yep.
Guys and gals, we have got to stop fucking isolating. Put yourself the fuck out there. Meet people.
Mhm.
Okay, do something. Find a
Network.
fucking hobby. Like, and it can be games. It can be the video games. Start there. But at some point, you got to get that ass out of the house and talk to people face to face, like human beings have always done for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Okay, like there is something to that, and there is something that there's a health benefit that comes with that. Being in the job market and working at jobs is still part of that. Okay, but you got to fucking do it. Nobody's going to give you an idea about a job that would be like really cool for you that you never thought of before if you're not there for them to tell you the story. Like, you've got to be there.
Roger that.
Just saying, just throwing it out there. Like,
Roger that. And that, that leads perfectly to today's final thought. And I love it because I love the final thought. We've been doing this since the very first episode. If you guys don't mind, I'll take it. This week, I talk about every time clouds over our heads can happen to anybody. Okay. It happens to kids too.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this maybe once or twice before, but it happens to kids too. Talk to your children about mental health. Talk to them if they're having angry outbursts and they're saying things that could be very detrimental to their future. You talk to them. Okay, you have to remember, kids are still learning, even your own kids. And sometimes it's not a fear of not wanting to talk to you. It's not knowing how to express it. And I think that needs to be promoted more.
Agree.
Okay? This, we have, I'm gonna go out there and say it. My 11-year-old son had said something that hurt me. He didn't say it directly towards me. He said it about himself, and it hurt me.
But
as a father,
stings your heart. Your heart.
And when I, growing up, and you hear yourself say things, you have yourself in bed, and you're just like, oh, I just wish I would, get this done already. You don't realize the people around you who are listening to that and how much that hurts them. And to hear your own child say something like that, it's heavily important that we protect our children and we talk to them about what mental health is. Doesn't matter how young they need to be. Mental health could start as soon as you come out the womb. We don't see it. It's just it's a way about helping them express how they feel. Guys, the National Suicide Hotline is star 988 1-800-273-TALK. They are there to listen to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no shortage of volunteers that are there. You could go on Google. Okay, all the resources are there. Guys, you are not alone. If you don't want to talk to us, your loved ones, your best friends, talk to somebody. Someone is qualified to speak to you and your children today. And that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much.
Stop, John. Fucking A, dude. It's always good to fucking see you guys. It's always good to fucking be here. It's always a pleasure. Every week, every 168 hours. Get your asses back to formation fucking next week. All right, we're going to be back. It's fucking thunder and lightning here in Kansas City, dude. So I'm about to go on my back porch and fucking drink a couple more fucking Trulies. All right. And just enjoy the fucking rain. So
we got heavy rain here too, man.
Yep.
Guys, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate the people that come out here for the live shows. But then you guys are really showing up when the episode gets fully uploaded. So you guys are there for us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Triple H, thank you so much for joining us today as a guest host. It is
what, John?
True.
You can still go fuck yourself.
I will. Guys, we'll see you in 168.
Love you guys.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Have a good one.